Hi, welcome to this new episode. Today I'm with Damian Gardynik. And Damian, I've been following you on Instagram. I've seen you prepare those amazing salads, find those exciting fruits, and I'm excited to have you today because we'll discuss about how to make those really healthy foods also tasty. Because some people they might think, oh, it's great to be raw vegan, to be high fruit, but it feels a bit boring. So thank you for joining us today, and yeah, we'll get into that. Before we get into it, what are you grateful for today?
Ooh, good question. Um, I'm honestly grateful to be where I am right now, in Bali, is same as you, because even when I have like a lower mood, in the morning, then I go out and I see all the local people being so happy, just so smiley. It just makes me so grateful for life in general. Just, they are so grateful with, not as much as I opportunity as I have, and it's just amazing. Yeah, that's what I'm grateful for.
Thank you, Damien. That's so beautiful living here. I'm so grateful for that too. And grateful also for yeah, the beautiful fruits and the diversity. So
Yeah.
let's get into it. Um, do you often hear let's say what are let's just straight go into it. What are the your favorite fruits in Bali?
Oh, here in Bali. Number one is probably 1E,
One
which
in
is a fruit that is related to mango, but it's not the same. They call it also white mango, but has nothing to do with it. To me, it really tastes like a beautiful mix of cherry moya and pear with strawberry yogurt and some minty eucalyptus toothpaste to it. It's delicious. I was waiting since I was here last 4 years ago. I was waiting all these years to taste it again. So that's what one. Dragon fruits here are amazing. I just love how well they digest and how they make me feel. Um, Coconuts, I'm super grateful for that. So hydrating, sweet, delicious. Obviously durian. Yeah, that's one that is like always on the top. I could go in on and on, but it's just amazing here in Bali. Yeah.
Thanks, Damien. And you've traveled a bit around the world to find amazing fruits. So where do you find is the best place to eat the best fruits?
Well, that's a tricky question, because seasons change all year round, even from year to year. They're very different. Um, when we're talking about like the most exotic, best quality, pretty consistently, but um, the season is pretty limited. That place would be Borneo. Borneo has some of the wildest, um, most exotic, like prehistoric looking fruits.
Mm,
So many wild species of durian. There's a fruit called the dabai, that literally is like mashed potatoes with butter and cheese and very strong herbs like thyme and rosemary. It's just so savory as well. Um,
By the way,
that
Borneo is an island, and I think it's divided into Indonesia and Malaysia, but that's in that Oceania
yes,
area.
yes, in a tiny country called Brunei. Yeah, it's a huge island, very wild, mostly unexplored and not as known for tourism, right? But it's so beautiful there too. In terms of like mm, good quality, for example, I've lived in Spain for most of my life. Spain has consistently good fruit all year round, I would say. It has a good temperate climate for that. And all year round you can find very decent fruit in a colder climate there. And I would say that the south of Spain ha grows the best mangoes in the world. They have an incredible variety. I think also because it's quite far north, but it has subtropical microclimate allows to grow those mangoes there, it makes them very special. And to me, they're the best in the whole world. And I tried from many places. I've tried here in Bali, tried in Borneo, Thailand, Central America, and they're best there, I think. Yeah. Bali has also consistently all year round very good fruit. Um, maybe not as much variety, I would say, uh, like in big amounts, but yeah, it's pretty good all year round, very consistent.
Awesome. Yeah, very grateful for that here. I love the mangoes, so I'm be curious to try them in Spain if they're so much better. The dragon
Mhm.
fruit papayas, that's like my staples. Dragon fruit, papaya, mango, I have every day.
Yeah. You mean here in Bali or in general?
Here in Bali, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those are my staples here too.
Yeah.
I don't
So
get tired.
yeah, and usually my staple is those fruits, and then sometimes some different fruits, sometimes jackfruit, sometimes durian, sometimes bananas,
Yeah.
sometimes something else. But yeah, that's the pineapple, whatever. But that's these three as the main. Sometimes a bit of other things. And what I love to do then is to have a big salad at the end of the day, which is actually a lot of technically fruits like tomato, cucumber, avocados,
Mhm.
with a nice dressing. I try to stay fully raw. I know you're a salad master, so you're usually quite raw, but not necessarily fully raw, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, do you have some recommendations if people want to, well, just a parenthesis on this. I like that you're a salad master because I find the raw gourmet is can be delicious, but doesn't sit super well with me. Like I can do it
Mhm.
a week or so, but I definitely don't feel my best energetically and physically with it. While with salads, it gives me that savory, exciting meal, but at the same time, I still feel really good after it. So is that your
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah, same experience for me. I find salads to be a must for me, like on a daily basis, I would say. If I, for some reason, go without eating my greens, my like simple salad for dinner, and I eat mostly just fruit, or even like when I would have a fully cooked meal, which is rare that I do that, and I don't have raw, simple greens with it, I find that my digestion slows down a lot. I'm not feeling as well. My cravings go up for, more heavier cooked foods, but at the same time, not feeling as energetic and as light. And yeah, when people come into the raw vegan diet, um, fruit is easy for people to eat. They've eaten it their whole lives. Fruit is sweet, delicious on its own, right? It's a very natural thing. But greens are, for me, something, or for the majority of people, something that you need to learn how to eat. Because most of us haven't grown uh, eating salads, right, at home. Like like whose families have been consistently making salads for lunch or dinner. I would say almost no one. And if so, usually they're like, loaded with things like mayonnaise or, you know, mostly cooked ingredients, uh, things like that.
Lots of
Um,
oil, lots of salt, lots of vinegar.
yes, exactly. Or processed dressings like from like a bottle, right? And so it's something that I feel like it's a learning curve for the majority of people. But um, I want to touch also on like a common misbelief of many people going into the raw vegan diet who tend to lean more on the fruitarian side, right? Because many people believe or say that they don't feel as attracted to greens and vegetables as much as fruit, that they even go as far as saying like it's not natural for us to eat those things. But I don't consider that to be the truth. um, you know when other mammals are born, they usually are taken care by their mothers, their parents, right, for a few months or years. The parents will show the baby, I don't know, deer, for example, where to eat the best, leaves, grass, that kind of things. A baby orangutan will learn from its mother where to get the best fruits, right? The best durian, for example, how to open it, how to process it, how to eat it. It doesn't all come intuitively. That's where I'm trying to get to. The parents will always teach something to the babies, and so because we live in a society where we've lost a lot of this knowledge over generations, of like where to eat, what kind of wild plants are edible, where to find them, how to identify them, those kind of things. We've lost that appetite for these things as well. So I consider it vital to reconnect with that part of us, with that part of our nature and our symbiosis with nature, of like identifying plants and knowing where to find them, what time of the year, how to prepare them, how to eat them to make them taste good. Talking about taste, that is another part of like why I find that people dislike salads often, is because of the kind of produce that they have available in supermarkets and stuff, right? Like it's pretty bad. It's really like it doesn't taste good most of the time. For one, because of the way that they were grown, and second would be also because greens taste good when they're just picked, like super fresh. Like you just go to your garden, pick it, and eat it. It tastes amazing. Most of them taste quite sweet. And as time progresses, when you pick them, when you have cut them, the plant starts breaking down. It starts producing also some chemicals that make it taste bitter, so that it's like a protective mechanism of the plant. And so they don't taste as good. They don't taste as fresh. And I think that that's one of the biggest reasons why people don't like them. What's your experience with that?
Yeah, totally. In terms of taste, it's an interesting one. For the greens, I prefer fresh. That's why when I make my celery juice, for example, here in Bali, I stopped ordering it and I make it myself. Also, I want the celery to be fresh, ideally from my garden, but at least I want to also juice fresh. So it's like almost twice the process. Or same when I get microgreens, I like them to be cut straight from the tray. They do that at Healthy Food here in Bali, and I really value this. So it's been my experience, and it's an interesting mix also when we talk about taste of what I like is, I think it's a really good transition to make delicious salads, because we need to realize that through years of eating differently, we've changed our taste buds. And when we eat more simply, we also regain those taste buds. So to me, it's a balance between, yes, I want to have delicious food, but at the same time, I want to be conscious of what do I call delicious? Is it the true taste of the product, or is it some kind of chemical stimulation that I identify as delicious? So I play with it. It can be salt, it can be oil, it can be different kind of additions where when I really feel like, okay, now I want to have something delicious, I can tweak a few things. But in general, yeah, I try to go for natural, delicious. And taste buds change. Like if I have good tomatoes, I'll just eat tomatoes as a meal, which might not sound very exciting to most people, but it is to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, you know, when I talk about salads, my definition about salad is very broad. Like it can mean like something more elaborate and like a nice dressing and all that. But the most important part is actually like eating the greens, the the savory fruits like tomatoes and cucumbers and so on. Because they are very powerful nutrition as well, right? Like many times I will get tired actually of eating a salad where I cut everything up, put it in a bowl, and pour like a even a simple dressing. I get tired of that, and what I'm actually craving is to eat it like what I call grazing platters. Just I have my lettuce leaves, I have my spinach, my tomatoes, maybe some cucumber, okra, whatever, and just eat it like that, and make combinations in my mouth if I feel like it, but just I know that my body is truly craving those greens because it knows that it recognizes after years, right, of eating it, it recognizes that it has something that my body is needing at the moment, whether it's the fiber, whether it's the um, minerals and so on. Yeah. But of course, like when we're talking about someone who's transitioning into the diet, who doesn't have as much experience and who um, maybe doesn't fully enjoy like such simple meals yet, it's nice to transition into it slowly. So, I would even like add some salt, add some like more elaborate ingredients or preparations into my salad, more elaborate dressings, right? More stimulating overall, because there's a transition there that needs to take place from very stimulating cooked food diet to much more simpler meals. Yeah.
Yeah, one example is sometimes I'll add coconut aminos in my sauce, a little bit, but it has added salt, for example. I generally don't really
Yes.
eat salt. But if I feel like, okay, now it's gonna be nice, it's much better than added a soy sauce, but from the
Yeah.
supermarket, right? So do you have a few, let's say, strategies or even recipes for transitioning that keep
Mhm.
deliciousness, but at least is more healthy and maybe gently transitions?
Mhm. Where I would start, and this is what I recommend most people, is to build a routine of finding your base salad, right? Like what you enjoy the most. For me, it's always kind of the same, and always where I tend to revolve around, which is like some mix of greens with lettuce in it. Sometimes I'll put like spinach, arugula, depending on what I have and what I want, because diversity is also important for me. Then tomatoes, cucumbers are always a standard. Sometimes I will put maybe some cabbage because I enjoy really the crunch, but cabbage is also very savory, very salty. And then simple dressing. Here in Bali, I have all these coconuts, right? So I'll take the coconut meat from here, blend it up, ferment it, and make my own coconut yogurt. That's my like standard dressing. In Europe, what I would do is to take instead usually hemp seeds, maybe some raw cashews, maybe walnuts, maybe almonds, kind of changing it from time to time. And I have my basic dressing. It's just the nuts and seeds, water, blended. That's it. And then in my salad, I would add whatever aromatic herbs. Dill is something I love. You can use whatever you like, cilantro, basil. Um, there's so many herbs that you can use, parsley,
Mm.
and I put a lot of that. That is my biggest trick, I think. I put a lot of it, like a big handful. I almost put like a third of the amount of greens that I've used in my salad in just herbs, because they bring up a lot of the savoriness in the salad. They make it super enjoyable, and that's my biggest trick. And then to kind of blend in the flavors together, um, we have the fatty dressing, whether it's like the coconut yogurt or the basic nut or seed dressing, that will like tie everything together. And then to bring up more savoriness into the dish would be lemon juice or lime juice. Quite a lot of it. Don't be afraid of overdoing it. and something sweet. So typically I would put, maybe if I'm in a hurry, some coconut sugar, just a tiny pinch, just to kind of, balance the flavors, or maybe some maple syrup or honey, or even some fresh fruit like mango or apple or pear, things like that. It will really bring up the flavors, like elevate them completely to a completely new level, and it will balance out with this sourness from the lemon or lime, and the sweetness of the fruit or the coconut sugar or whatever sweetener that you use, or dates, for example. Sour and sweet will create this amazing effect that will bring up the savoriness in the dish. And so you won't need to put as much salt as you're used to, or even any at all, because it will be really satisfying. So anyway, this was a long answer to the first part of my answer, right? Find that basic for yourself. That's the thing that you should revolve around. Then change some ingredients from time to time. Bring in some form of excitement. That's what you should be doing. Make it exciting. Have your base, and then bring in excitement from time to time. Especially in the beginning, it's nice to experiment with different flavors, different spices that you can use. Change the herbs that you use, change the greens that you use, change the other ingredients, like the savory fruits or different veggies. You can add other crunch with beetroots, carrots, whatever you find and have available. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Damien. And yeah, I'll share a little bit of mine too for inspiration. My basic, for example, when I was in Germany, I was there 6 weeks and I didn't have so much to play with. So my basic was we had tahini, which is blend sesame basically,
Yeah.
and lime juice and honey. And it was so easy and it was really good. Right. Then when I'm here in Bali and I'm more playful, usually I like to have a mix of so water-based, sometimes coconut water if I want more sweet, with some nuts and seed. It can be canary nuts, sesame seeds, flax seeds, just my three usual ones, some almonds also sometimes. And then I like to sweeten with a mango usually, but it can be dates also. And then adding fresh herbs also. And I find all this together is generally and the lime juice also exciting, because you have the sweetness, you have the herbs, you have the consistency, richness of the nuts, and and the sourness of the lime. So yeah, inspiration.
Sounds very similar to what I do then. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had two reflections also on, when you talk about being natural and wanting salads. From my research with frugivores, and when you look at frugivores, it's a little bit different than purely fruitarian in the way that so our teeth, our GI tract, our taste point to that, which is probably a lot of fruits, but also some greens. When you look at chimpanzees, they can eat also some greens. Obviously, gorillas even like so much more greens.
Yeah.
So to me, it feels balanced to incorporate that. That's why I do 80% fruits mainly.
Yeah. 100%.
And then it's interesting to play even with the notion of natural. It's always a spectrum, because we're humans and we're naturally creative. And so the concept of natural, so everything that exists in a way is natural. It all comes from nature, right? Even the cooking in a way is natural. So it's finding our own balance between natural as in animal and natural as in receiving God-given gifts of being a human and using that creativity. So we don't have to take it all the way too much to the processed food. I feel that's a bit too far, but using a bit of that human creativity to combine the ingredients together in a way that a chimpanzee probably wouldn't be able to is also something nice.
Yeah, 100%. We could go way more philosophical and talk about the metaphysical thing about what's natural here. But even other apes like chimpanzees and bonobos and orangutans. They will mix up fruits and greens in the same meal, like trying to find different tastes. You know, when it's a low fruit season, they will eat many more greens and they will pair it up with the little fruit that they get because it just tastes better. And I think that that's very natural in the sense of, you know, not having to use any tools or anything like special. Yeah.
Mm. Awesome. Thanks, Damien. And so you're hosting retreats. One is coming up in Bali. Do you want to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. You know, because of this, all of this, I'm very passionate about anything that has to do with food, like from growing it and foraging for wild greens, and cooking and preparing it for people. I love just preparing food for people and sharing it with them. Um, and I've started actually here in Bali over 4 years ago, to host potlucks, just to meet up with all the amazing people that I was meeting here. You know, whether for like a durian hunt or we went to like one of the raw vegan restaurants just to hang out. I wanted to bring everyone that I was meeting individually together, and we started to have potlucks, and it turned into a weekly tradition. And I would organize like themed raw vegan dinner parties, like a Japanese night or like a Balinese night, curry night, salad night. It was really fun to do that. And, you know, I was a chef also way before that for many, many years, working in professional kitchens and restaurants. And I wanted to bring all of that together into like a much more complete experience, also including everything that I've learned, you know, in terms of personal development, working with mindset and lifestyle, and working through the limiting beliefs that we all have, and that we all set ourselves in our journey. And I wanted to bring this all into one experience, and that's how I started doing my retreats. And I have one coming up here in Bali, and literally just 7 weeks from now in March. And my main retreats are in south of Spain, in Malaga, where the best mangoes that we talked about before are, and many other fruits. Yeah, and it's a beautiful experience. Every time all the people that come together, they are perfectly aligned. Like it feels like it's a big family from the first moment that we meet, and that's very magical. It's you know, it's so special. There's so much healing taking place, so many limiting beliefs that are being released during that time, and people find a lot of inspiration also, like on how to make this lifestyle possible, this diet possible. You know, it's actually quite surprising for me, because all these things that we talked about, you know, about making like even simple salads, simple meals, like satisfying and enjoyable, many people don't have this knowledge, and it comes so naturally to me. But I can understand, you know, that even with so much inspiration that there is online with books and everything, and like all these reels about, you know, healthier meals that are trending now, people still don't know how to apply it actually in their life. And so spending a whole week with like a tribe doing this, eating this way, living as you would, doing this lifestyle, it's just very inspirational for people, because most people don't learn from reading books or like being given advice, but rather by experiencing it and applying it into their life. So yeah, very transformative.
Amazing. That sounds really exciting. And I love that you get people to discover the lifestyle, because it is a diet, but it's also a lifestyle, right? With the movement, with the sun exposure, with the sleeping
Yes.
properly, with all the things, the meditation, the yoga, the things that come with it. So I think it would be really beautiful for someone to have that all that experience in 1 week, and
Mhm.
yeah, that's exciting. Thank you. Thank you.
100%. I
Yeah.
want to add to that comment actually, because how often so many people find many obstacles on their health journey, and they start doubting the diet. They start thinking, oh, maybe I'm missing this or this and that. But most often it has nothing to do with the diet, but with the rest of what you do in your day to day, like whether you're meditating, whether you connect with nature, you go out in the sun, all of these things, like your community, the people you hang out with, you're exposed to. That is what really makes it or breaks it. The diet has very little to do with it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's nice to be here with you in Bali, and we can work out together and cook together delicious recipes. That's something I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, me too. We in the fridge right now, I have some raw vegan cheeses curing. So in a couple of weeks, you're invited to test them.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. So thank you so much, Damien, and thank you to everyone. I hope we gave you inspiration to cook super healthy salads and to be excited about eating more raw vegan in general. I will add one thing is also fruits. Ultimately it's Mother Earth that's been cooking it for months, so that's something I think is also worth celebrating, whether it's Mother Nature or our friends, beautiful other beings that prepare delicious food for us, because food is love too, cooking is love too. So I think that's really important to
Mm.
include in a high raw, high food vegan diet. Thank you so much, Damien. I'll let you share maybe a
For
few
having
words before we close, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Alex, for having me. Yeah, it wasn't really nice talking to you. Um, I could share so much more, but um, I just will invite people to follow me, to also whoever is watching it on my channel to follow Alex, a very inspirational podcast. And he's a fit guy, he works out, and he's just proving you how you can be really fit and strong as a raw vegan man. So yeah, that's very inspirational as well. So yeah, thank you very much for having me, and let's hang out soon.
Yes. Thank you, Damian. Thank you to the listener. And if you liked, obviously, hit the like button, can share and subscribe. Much love, Damian. Sorry, much love, Damian, and much love to everyone.
Thank you.